everyone, it's Keisha here. Today I want to talk about the ANA Pokemon Jets, as well as about the Pokemon cards that were released during the partnership between ANA and Pokemon. While now ANA is partnering with Star Wars, as some of you might know, the airline used to partner with Pokemon between 1998, back when the franchise was starting, and the partnership lasted all the way until 2016. During that time, the airline released 4 generations of jets that we'll go through later. And as you'll see, they also released a bunch of promo cards as part of that. So being somebody that likes both, that loves both aviation and Pokemon, I could think of nothing better than to talk about these cards and about this aircraft. And I even ordered some of the cards of Mercari, which is Japanese, a Japanese site where you can buy a lot of different things. And I am going to open some of these packages that I received earlier today. So let's get started. So the first set of Pokemon Jets was released in 1998. It was the year that the franchise was starting to gain traction. It was about 2 years since Pokemon was first introduced, and it was also the year that the first Pokemon movie was screened in Japan, which was kind of the main reason behind the partnership between the airline and Pokemon. The livery was worn by a 747-400D, which was the domestic version of the 747 of the Jumbo Jet, as well as by the 767-300, actually 2 of those. And all 3 of the aircraft operated on domestic flights around Japan, so between Tokyo and Sapporo and similar routes. The livery was based on the ANA Triton Blue livery, which is the standard livery that ANA uses pretty much to this date with slight modifications. It featured some of the first generation as well as second generation Pokemon. So among others, it included Pikachu, Squirtle, Bulbasaur, Snorlax. For some reason, it didn't include Charmander out of the first generation starters. I have no idea why, but yeah, it has a really nice retro look when you look at it today, and it's one of my favorites, definitely. So this was also the year that Pokemon released the first set of promotional cards related to the partnership with ANA. People could get these cards by flying on ANA twice and submitting their boarding passes. So they would take their boarding passes, stick them to special postcard, send them in, and receive the cards back. The cards, it was a pair that included Pikachu and Dragonite, and it came in a folder. And I also believe that it's in this package. So let's take a look and see what's inside. As you can see, the cards came in a folder like this, featuring the Pokemon Jumbo Jet on the front, the different types of energies, and then on the back side, they have the instructions on how to play Pokemon cards, as well as an ad for the starter kit. So let's actually look what's inside and how the cards look. So here you have some information about the 2 cards, so the Flying Pikachu and the Dragonite. And then here's the cards themselves. I really like the Flying Pikachu with the aircraft in the background and the balloons. For me, as somebody that loves aircraft and really likes and enjoys Pokemon, it's about as good as it gets, I guess. And I think the Dragonite's really cool as well with his flight back or whatever it is. So yeah, I think 2 really cool cards. Let's leave Pokemon cards aside for a second and let's go back to the Jets. In 1999, with the growing popularity of Pokemon overseas, ANA released a international version of the Pokemon Jet, so it was pretty much the same livery as the one on the 747 back in 1998, except it featured English titles because it was meant for international flights, and it also didn't include the Pikachu on the tail and included the standard ANA logo there instead. The jet flew for the first time in February 1999 from Tokyo to New York, and then it operated until 2006 in delivery, flying from Tokyo to Paris, London, New York, and a bunch of other international destinations. The domestic versions of these Pokemon Jets lasted until 2001, at which point they were put back into the standard ANA livery. The second generation of domestic Pokemon Jets was released in 1999. It was timed with the release of the second Pokemon movie, and this time, rather than just ANA slapping some Pokemon onto an aircraft, it actually solicited different designs from children, and it picked one that was marine themed. and it included Pokemon like Pikachu, Lapras, Dratini, Slowpoke, and some others. And the livery was featured on a 747D as well as a pair of 767-300s, just like with the first generation. The second generation of Pokemon Jets flew for the first time on June 21st, 1999. And so it's no surprise that the campaign for the second set of promo cards lasted from around the same time. So it actually lasted from June to September. And the conditions were the same once again. So you flew on ANA twice, you submitted your boarding passes, and you got the cards back. I didn't fly ANA during that time, and unfortunately, I wasn't able to get the cards firsthand. But again, as you know, I have them right here. So let's open them up. The folder was kind of similar like with the 1998 version, other than it included the new aircraft. On the back, again, it had the Pokemon cards. So this one's in slightly worse condition than the first one, but I think it's still decent. Yeah, and let's take a look at the cards inside. On the left side, you have kind of explanation of what the cards are, what the Pokemon are, and on the right side, you have the cards. So there's the Pikachu and there's the Articuno. And once again, I love the fact that there's an aircraft behind the Pikachu. And I think the Articuno is really nice as well. And as you'll see, the Zapdos and Moltres are kind of made in the similar in the same style. Yeah, so that was the first part of the promotion, and now let's take a look at the second set of cards. On the left side, again, you have the description of the Pokemon or of the cards. And on the right side, you have the other two legendary birds. I think these look great as well. But again, my personal favorite is the Pikachu with the aircraft in the background, or the two Pikachus with the aircraft in the background. But I think these are great too. So going back to the aircraft, the second generation, the 1999 Pokemon Jets, lasted until 2001, 2007, and 2006. So the two 767s were painted back into normal livery in 2001 and 2007 respectively, and then the 747 lasted until 2006. Now, while this operated, ANA did two more Pokemon card campaigns related to the partnership. The first of those was done in 2000 when ANA did another two-part campaign with the same rules, except this time each part only included one card. One of them was Meryl, and the other one was Togepi, so it was the second generation Pokemon. I only got the Togepi here, which came in a set with the Zapdos and Moltres and Pikachu and Articuno. I bought it from the same person, so let's take a look at that card. This time, as you can see, the card came on a postcard, and there's only one card because it was only one card per part of the promotion. I guess the Togepi is kind of flying in the sky, which I guess makes sense considering it's a partnership with ANA, and it's in the newer kind of 3D computer graphic style. So the last campaign of this era was done in 2001. Once again, the rules were the same. You fly twice with ANA, submit the boarding passes, get the cards back. This time there was only one set of cards, so it included Pikachu and Larvitar. And the campaign lasted for 2.5 months. One thing worth noting, I guess, is that these were the first ANA Pokemon cards that featured the new back set of cards. Just like with the Meryl card, I'm still looking for a decent copy to buy at a decent price, so hope to get that one soon as well. All right, so back to the Pokemon Jets. The third generation came out in 2004. It was by far my favorite one. Perhaps it's because it was the first one that I had a chance to see at airports and photograph a lot, or maybe because the Jets were really bright and colorful, and deliveries were full scale, special liveries. In either case, the first one of those, Pikachu Jumbo, first flew in May 2004 from Osaka to Tokyo, and then went on to operate different domestic routes for quite a few years. It featured really bright yellow livery with Pikachu, as the name suggests, as well as some other Pokemon like Latias, Latios, Torchic, Celebi, and so on. The second one, Ohana Jumbo, flew for the first time in December 2004, and it featured Pikachu, Pichu, and a few other Pokemon in a really nice kind of bluish livery. I guess this was the most favorite of my Pokemon Jets for one reason or another, and it's also the one that's on the photo here, actually, taken just before the aircraft was about to be sent to the US for scrapping. So yeah, kind of a sad photo, but at the same time, I'm really glad to have gotten it. It was during this era that Pokemon released its last set of ANA promotional cards. unlike the first few times, these weren't given out as a campaign for people that flew twice and sent in the boarding passes. Instead, they were given out as one of the toys that kids get sometimes when they fly aircraft. So kids could choose between Pokemon cards and some other toys, I believe. These two Pokemon liveries lasted until 2013 when NA actually retired the 747s. So the Pokemon liveries lasted as long as the 747s lasted. This brings us to the last generation of Pokemon jets, the Peace Jet. So unlike the previous generations, the fourth generation only included one aircraft, a 777-300, used domestically as well. This aircraft's history was intertwined with some of the natural disasters that Japan encountered in that era. So the design for the aircraft was initially supposed to be chosen by the general public. So ANA proposed three different designs, and then the general public was supposed to vote on them. The voting was supposed to take part between March 13th and March 28th, 2011. And as you know, Japan was struck by a terrible earthquake and tsunami on March 11, 2011. So ANA actually started the voting as planned, but then as kind of the consequences of the disaster became known and the seriousness of the situation became clearer and clearer every day, every minute, ANA decided to cancel the voting. Luckily, though, it didn't cancel releasing the Pokemon Jet, so instead it decided to choose Design B, which was the Peace Jet, as the one to paint the aircraft in. The aircraft itself came out in July 2011, and that meant actually that it could be seen with the two Pokemon Jumbo Jets flying at the same time. So actually, one of my favorite aircraft photos is where I managed to capture the three Pokemon Jets at the same time in one frame. I got real lucky at that time. And going back to the aircraft, it operated on domestic flights until April 15th, 2016. I had the chance to be on the last flight from Okinawa to Tokyo, but because of another earthquake that struck Japan a day before, I believe, it also did another extra flight where it provided essential air link to places where the bullet train couldn't operate for a brief period of time. So as you can see, the aircraft kind of its start was marked by natural disaster, and also its end was marked by natural disaster. And I guess it provided a lot of at least some joy in those tough times for a lot of people in the country. I guess one thing worth noting is that even though the aircraft flew in the Pokemon livery until April 16th or April 15th, the onboard service actually stopped being Pokemon themed in March when the contract expired between ANA and Pokemon. And I guess that's one thing that I didn't say so far is that it wasn't just the outside of the aircraft that was Pokemon themed, but also the interior. So there was Pokemon themed headrest covers, Pokemon themed cups, and so on and so forth. Yeah, so these were the four generations of Pokemon Jets and some of the Pokemon cards released in between them as part of the collaboration. Unfortunately, as you know, there is no Pokemon Jets now, which is really unfortunate. But hopefully, ANA will release some in the future. Actually, ANA's partner airline, Seat Air, added some stickers with Executor on one of its 737-800. So I don't think everything's lost yet. Perhaps after the Star Wars jets are gone, and with the increasing popularity of Pokemon these days, maybe we'll get to see these cool aircraft once again in some cool new liveries. So yeah, I really hope that becomes reality, even though I have no guarantees and I have no idea what ANA is thinking on that is. But that's it for today's video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if so, please like the video, subscribe, and yeah, thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.